Hi, my name's Devin. I have a tarot channel. I go by Little Misguided. I don't know if I'm pronouncing your name right, Janee. I saw your post on one of the cold case groups, and I wanted to see if I could get any information for you, any more information that you might not already have, or that you might be able to connect with something in regards to your uncle's murder. So let me go ahead and just get started. And the Ten of Cups in the reverse. That is some kind of breakdown or some kind of discomfort. I'm feeling like breakdown in a family situation. Maybe some kind of disagreement, argument, difference of opinion involving somebody with the family. Or they may have rubbed some member of a family the wrong way. Doesn't necessarily have to be your family. It could just be a connected family. Five of Pentacles in the reverse. This is somebody who was outcasted and wanted to come back in from out of the cold. Yeah, this was somebody at some point who was kicked to the curb or left out of a family union, or they felt like they were, and they wanted to come back in. Let me get a clarifier on the Five of Pentacles. Who is this person? What is that situation? Now, this didn't really come out, so I'm going to put it back in, but it kind of came out, so I'll talk about it. I mean, it kind of popped, but it didn't really come all the way out. So it could just be something that is hidden or not well known, but it seems like somebody here may have been trying to hold on to some money and trying to keep from losing it. Somebody in the situation was greedy. And honestly, the Five of Pentacles in the reverse, there's multiple meanings. My go-to is left out in the cold. But it could also be somebody who had lost a lot of money, lost everything, became destitute, and was trying to build that back up. Now, this could be a family member of yours. This could be your uncle that we're talking about. If he had gone somewhere to try and obtain some money, it could be him. Or he could have been dealing with somebody who was left out of a family unit. Like, this person may have been in disconnection from their family and not having a lot of money. I don't know. I don't really feel like this is your uncle, dude. I kind of feel like it's the perpetrator. Anyhow, someone got greedy. Someone didn't want to miss out on an opportunity to make some money or to keep some money. I feel like they felt like they were going to lose some money. Tell me more about the perpetrator. Who's the person that committed the crime? Knight of Cups. Somebody who came through with, like, they had, like, good intentions. And with Cups, again, I'm seeing it could have been a family member or it could have been a close friend. But with that Ten of Cups being out on the board, too, I'm leaning more towards family. But this is someone who either did have good intentions or they projected like they had good intentions. This could have been somebody who was supposed to be like a caretaker or have your uncle's back. The Ace of Cups in the reverse. But there's some, like, all of these are Googleable. So if you're not familiar with tarot, Google these if there's something you're attracted to or need more information on. But Ace of Cups in the reverse, that's saying to me, that's a feeling of like there being love lost in the situation. Like, I'm not sure if maybe your uncle had betrayed this person at some point, but it's like this should have been somebody that had his back. But it's kind of like they were wishy-washy. Like, I think they meant to have good intentions, but there was just something inside of them unhealed. Like I'm saying, there could have been some kind of betrayal towards them from your uncle. And so even though they tried to do the right thing, that thing was like bothering them inside, and there was love lost in the situation between them. This could also be with the Ace of Cups in the reverse. I see like the cups as emotions, overflowing emotions. With it being in reverse, sometimes I see that as tears. This could be somebody that whenever it happened was like uncontrollably like emotional, upset, crying. Almost to the point where, like, obviously crying over death is not an overreaction, but it was just like they were almost like doing too much. Like it was something weird about it. But maybe nobody thought anything weird about it because they're supposed to be sad. But maybe this person like was like sobbing, like I'm seeing like shoulders uncontrollable. This person may have like disconnected from other people for days where they thought, or weeks, where the other people around them thought that they were just grieving, but it was guilt and shame. Tell me more about this perpetrator. The Hermit. Yeah, again, like I was saying, maybe afterwards this person isolated away from everybody else. Everybody else may have thought that they were grieving. And maybe since then, it's like their relationship with the family hasn't been the same. They've been withdrawn. They keep to themselves. This is the Hermit. Somebody that pretty much just like stays in their house and like keeps to themselves all the time. Now, I didn't pull these out, but I was drawn to them as they were in my hand. This is the Nine of Cups and the Nine of Swords. This to me makes me feel like maybe at the time somebody was under the influence of some kind of drug or some kind of alcohol. Like they were under some kind of influence that had them feeling pretty good. I'm leaning more towards alcohol. And it's kind of like one of those things where, like, the next day, everything sets in. Because it's like, when you're drinking, I don't do drugs, so I couldn't tell you what that's like. But it's like, whenever you're drinking, sometimes whenever it's going on, it's like the next day you might have, like, flashes and stuff. And it's like, you're aware of what's going on when it's going on, but like once you have drunk too much, even though you're aware, you continue to do the stuff. But the next day, like it's still in your system, but you're clearing up in your mind anyhow. And it's like you start to remember flashes of what you did, and you're like, oh, fuck, I did that. And I feel like this is a similar situation. I'm not sure if this could have anything to do with the Queen of Wands. I just looked down and she was there. If it could have had anything to do with the female, maybe that betrayal had to do with the female. Maybe the uncle had an entanglement with a woman that was connected to this perpetrator who could possibly be a family member. Maybe it was the thing. I'm not saying it was like his brother or anything, but I'm just saying, for example, so it makes it less complicated for me. But like, for an example, if the perpetrator was his brother, then it could be like your uncle may have had a fling or an entanglement with the brother's girlfriend or the person that the brother liked. But it's like your uncle knew that this person liked her or was with her, so it was a betrayal. But because he's family, they still had that loyalty, that bond that they're supposed to have. I feel like the perpetrator is maybe older than the deceased. Could be an older brother, older cousin, maybe their uncle. But I feel like this person was older because I feel like they were supposed to be taking, like they feel guilt and shame because they were supposed to be taking a protective role. Maybe they weren't older. Maybe they're like the same age and it's just like a family bond thing and they felt like they should be a protector. But either way, it was like there's that little bit of betrayal inside that was never addressed or healed. And so it was still in there like a poison eating away, festering away. And this person, under the influence, it's like something could have come up. And it could have been like a fight over money too. Like maybe one person asked the other person for money and the other person's like, no, I'm not giving it to you. Like they was not trying to lose out on their stuff. Especially to somebody that like betrayed them. No disrespect. I'm just reading it how they come. I'm trying to help. If this does not fit, do not make it fit. Now, as you can see, these just jumped at me. I'm going to read them, but I'm going to put them back in, I think, because I don't know if they go there. If my hands were just slipping or if it jumped. But the Devil card. Toxic bond, toxic connections, addictions, Queen of Cups in the reverse, and the Six of Pentacles in the reverse. Reversals have different meanings, so if you look those up, make sure to type in reversed. And I'm not sure if this is involving some other woman. I feel like it could be involving some other woman. It could be like a mother figure. Like a baby mama. Like I feel like the Queen of Wands that we had earlier and the Queen of Cups are two different energies. But it's like the Queen of Cups in the reverse could be a mother figure. She could be somebody's baby mama. I don't know whose. But it's like this person, this Queen of Wands, may have had an addiction. Stop, baby cat. And I feel like I'm harassed. So maybe if your uncle was involved with a woman who had an addiction, he may have been trying to get something for her, which is why he needed some money. What's the Six of Pentacles? Eight of Wands. She might have told him that if he didn't get it, she would find a way to get it. And I feel like I don't have any proof. I just feel like she may have insinuated to him that she could make her own arrangements and get it however she needed to get it. And he didn't like that, so... Or she may have told him that she could get it from somebody who could give it to her. Something like that. So he may have tried to get this money from the perpetrator. Or this perpetrator, or this woman could be the perpetrator's girlfriend. And he may have asked her uncle for money. Either way, I feel like that is what like spurs everything. And I feel like whenever that goes down, somebody is harboring these old feelings, and I don't think that that's why they did it. I just feel like they lost control because they snapped. They had an emotional snap. They were under the influence of something. That's nothing that they meant to do. They did not mean to do it. But once it was done, and they couldn't take it back. This is going to be somebody, I'm telling you, who had a huge reaction. Like, I know that this is a huge thing and everybody's going to have a huge reaction. But this is somebody whose reaction was, like, far more than everybody else's. And they may have, like, gone through depression. That's me knocking my cat off the chair. Just ignore that. I'm sorry, I don't mean to laugh or be disrespectful. What was I saying? I don't remember, but I'm sure you know where I was going with that. Yeah, but this person, okay, I was saying, like, yeah, if you look back on it, this was somebody that had, like, a huge, like, I'm not saying overreaction. I sound so rude. But this is somebody who, let's say this is somebody who had an extremely notable reaction, and they also detached largely. Whereas some family members may have clung to each other for support and comfort during their grief, this person separated from everybody else. And I'm feeling like it's a masculine energy, like a man. But I've only had 2 queen cards. I've only had, as far as court cards, queens and kings, I've only had females come out. A Queen of Wands and a Queen of Cups. But I feel like these are energies that are related to information and not the actual subject. That's how I'm feeling. Page of Wands. Somebody going on a new journey, taking a new path. This person may have eventually moved and separated from family that way, or just left the area, went road tripping, something. This is going to sound weird that I'm saying this. But you see that guy right there? And he's got a feather in his hat. You ever heard that saying, Yankee Doodle went to town, riding on a pony, stuck a feather in his hat and called it macaroni. And it's almost, I don't even know what that's supposed to mean, but it's almost like you stuck a feather in your hat and called it macaroni. Basically, this person, like somebody, I feel like somebody either made an accusation or they just stated the facts clearly, and they were like, you're seeing this, but it's not this, it's this. But the thing that they said it was doesn't make any fucking sense. They stuck a feather in their hat and called it macaroni. Like, that don't make no sense. Anyway, Page of Wands. We have the Star card here. The Star card can be all about healing. I feel like if this person had an addiction, they could have left and gone somewhere, and they could have sought the help they needed for that addiction. They could have been somebody that ultimately ended up going to rehab. It could have been the thing that put them on that path. The Tower in the reverse. This is a catastrophe. This is an avoidable one. This is something that didn't have to happen. Like I was saying earlier, I don't think that this person meant for it to happen at all. They did not mean it to happen. I'm feeling really emotional right now because I feel like this is this person's emotions. I feel like they genuinely do have remorse. I just feel like they were cowardly and scared, and they didn't know how to face people. Yeah, but it's something that didn't have to happen. They do have remorse. They are sorry. They didn't mean it. They just didn't know how to cop to it and fess up after it was said and done. And if I'm on to something here, I just feel like I have to say, your uncle that's passed and he's deceased, I don't feel like he harbors any bad resentment towards this person. I feel like if this person did go on and get better, they're happy about that. It sounds weird and messed up, but whenever you are on the other side, you don't care about things like revenge. It's like all love, like all the love it originally should have been. Like whenever that person crossed over, regardless of the circumstances and what happened. It's like once you cross over, you know the truth of everything, of all things. It was almost like instantaneous forgiveness. And so I hope if this is anything, I hope that you can find justice, but I hope also that you still have compassion for this perpetrator, for this person that was involved, because I can't say it was an accident, but I know they didn't mean for the outcome to happen. Like, they did not have these intentions. Is there anything else that we need to know before I close this? Is there anything else? Actually, I'm going to do what I do with my other readings. I'm just going to pull a couple of oracle cards here. Oops. The card came out is letting go. That could be a couple of things here. Like with letting go, and I am going to tell you, it's not that his life didn't matter. But I think this is a message from your uncle. Is that it's bad enough that the tragedy happened and that it affected everybody the way that it did. But he doesn't want you holding on to something that you can't change. He doesn't want you to spend any more time like stressing or worrying about it. What he wants is for his family and the people he loves to move forward and to live their best lives. And if they're hanging back, stagnant, not pursuing the things that they could be pursuing in life, he doesn't want it be He doesn't want it to be because you're looking back, because of him. He wants you to let it go. And not that, I'm saying not that you don't care, but he wants you to be at peace. Because he is. And also with these butterflies, if you or a particular member of the family see butterflies, or a particular kind of butterfly, or it's a particular person that sees it, or it's always at a particular place or time or whatever, that's him. I mean, he's not a butterfly, but it's a sign from him to show you that he's okay. And this talks about transformation and about how you are no longer a part of that vessel you were once in. Like, I don't know if your uncle was a very spiritual person, and you don't have to be religious to be spiritual, to feel something of your own inside of you, but I almost feel like he was. Like, I almost feel like he was an inspiration to people. Like, especially like the younger people that looked up to him, especially boys. And he probably is the type to try and set people on a different, like if he saw them going down a bad path, he might have tried, like even if he was on the bad path himself, like he's going down a bad path and he sees somebody else, he'd be like, hey, get off of this path. Like, I feel like that's the kind of person. Let's pull one more card. I'm going to pull from a different deck, apparently. We have the card Alone in the World. And Triumph of Lies, but it was in the reverse. And we have Artificial Heart. And I feel like we're talking about what the outcome has been for this perpetrator. With Triumph of Lies, however, showing up in the reverse. And upright, it's just what it sounds like. It's somebody who's a lying liar. I don't want to even say stretching the truth. He's wearing a crown. He's the king of lies. Somebody who just not stretches the truth, not a white lie, just an outright lie. But it being in the reverse makes me again feel like there's some shame in that, and that this person isn't just lying to lie. As far as they were concerned, they had their reasons, and they're not proud of it. They're ashamed of it, and they feel like, I feel like this person now, if they've separated from the family or kept themselves distance, they feel like they're alone in the world. They feel like they don't have nobody. They feel like they're vulnerable. Like, they're vulnerable out there in the world. Anybody could do anything to them, and there would be nobody there to stop them or help them, because I feel like they walked away from everybody. They shut everybody out. I don't know if this person has ever, during these times, had times of living on the streets or homelessness. That's one thing I'm picking up there. And then we have artificial heart. This is somebody who seems like robotic, lacking of emotions, cold. And it's like, I feel like they have gotten to that spot. They've gotten that way, not just because of what happened, but because of the life that they lived as a result of it in between. I feel like they've had to become cold-hearted. I don't feel like they ever really wanted that. I feel like they didn't see there was a choice. And so they separated themselves from everybody. They shut their emotions down. They kept themselves alone in the world. And the word I'm hearing is compassion. It sounds like the opposite, but I feel like your uncle must have been a wonderful man. Because I feel like that's from him. I feel like he's saying to have compassion. Like, basically feel bad for him, not me. Or her, not me. Did we ever figure out if it was a boy or girl? I don't know. I'm just saying, I feel like it's a masculine energy. If it is the female, it could be a female that carries more masculine energy, tomboyish, whatever. I hope this helps you in some kind of way. I'm going to reach out to you and ask you if you want it, because I feel like it's just rude to like throw it at people, but I do hope it helps you in some kind of way. If it makes you feel any better, or if it helps you to trust the information, and like I said, do not make it fit. But if there are things that resonate, pay attention to those. Last year I reached out to someone, to a family member of this woman who was on a missing poster. And I was in talks with the sister and the daughter. And after being in talks with them, I was able to describe for them a person that she was last seen with. And the circumstances, I described the circumstances. And with that information, the daughter went to the police to have them talk to him again, because they had already cleared him as any kind of person of interest. And because she persisted with my information, they ended up getting a confession out of him. Like, he ended up confessing, and they found her murdered in his backyard, buried in the backyard. And I told her in the reading that he was going, like, I felt like she was underground out in the cold. This was in the winter. So I'm just saying, I'm not a crazy kook. There is some kind of validation. I just don't want you to, I just pick up what I read on the card, so I don't have everything, all the information for facts. I'm just going to read you what I see, what I feel. If you can take anything from it, that's great. I hope that you can. But if you can't, do not make the information fit. Do not drive yourselves any more crazy than like you've already been stressing. Don't do that. Like, that's what he doesn't want. That's what he doesn't want. He wants you guys to go on and like live your lives. Don't let this be something that you hold on to forever. Because there's a season for everything and everybody. But hopefully, if you can get down to the truth, hopefully you can get down to the truth. And if you can get down to the truth, hopefully it can give you enough peace so that you can let it go and live your life and give him something to observe that's happy. Like, he's not missing anything. He doesn't want y'all spending too much time on him. He just seems like a selfless individual. Super caring, big heart. I don't know if he was a little rough around the edges or anything or whatever, but I feel like that comes as a byproduct of your environment and being raised and whatever, but deep down, like, this person's a good person. Better than most. And maybe that's why, it affects you so much, because it seems like it always happens to the good ones. But that's all I have for you. Good luck with everything. Sincerely.
A few moments later.
Also, I just finished your reading, and I went back and looked at my screenshot that I took of what you posted, and I was reading it, and you were talking about how you had wanted to find a private investigator before she had passed away. Now, I don't know if this brother of your uncle is the same brother that I'm picking up in the reading, or if he's somebody else. But I can tell you that if this was a member of your family that was involved, everything played out the way that it needed to, honestly, because if your grandma would have found out the truth before she passed away, that could have killed her. That would have broke her heart. And you don't have to worry about or have any guilt about not doing enough or not finding answers before she crossed over, because, like I said, once you cross over, you know the truth of all things. She knows the truth now. Don't hang on to things that you cannot change, and that, honestly, in our human bodies and in our human brains, we don't have the capability to understand the huger, larger picture, such as you feeling upset that you couldn't find an answer before she was gone, but you didn't know that the answer would be something that would hurt her even more. So I feel like, you all have done all you can do. I mean, there might be more you can do, but I think you should take into consideration your uncle's wishes in some way. Maybe you could reach out to this person. I don't know if you're comfortable with that. Maybe you could reach out to this person. But I feel like instead of mourning your uncle and your grandma, do something that reminds you of them. Have dinner and make their favorite food. And think about good times and good things without thinking about the tragedy, the shadow, the mystery. Just remember them and enjoy them. And feel blessed for the time that you were able to share with them, because I feel like if he seems amazing, and I feel like if he came from her, she was probably pretty amazing too. So you're probably pretty blessed to have them in your life for any amount of time that you had them. I hope I'm not crossing any lines, but I wish healing for you guys. Happy healing. That is all.